Hey guys, what is going on? It is Spherical here, and we are back today to fully send off Kill la Kill. Again, we'll be finished with this show after today. We're watching the OVA special, whatever it is. It's titled "Last Goodbye." Now, again, as far as I know, this special episode has something to do with the ending. Again, I'm not sure if it's like an alternate ending or a continuation of the ending or whatever, but it's based around the final battle, I believe. Again, I'm pretty sure I think I mentioned that I heard that it was like an alternate ending thing. I really wouldn't be surprised if, to kind of lighten the mood, being Kill la Kill and stuff, if this special episode had like Senketsu survive maybe somehow. Again, I like the ending. I think it's fitting that all the life fibers were gone from Earth, Senketsu involved, but also, like, I want to feel happy that he's still around, you know what I mean? So I could see that being a possibility in this special episode if it is a rewriting or kind of a retelling of the ending. Beyond that, like, that's my only kind of prediction. If it is a kind of an alternate ending, is that might happen. Outside of that, I don't even know for sure if this is like an alternate ending or what the hell this is. I guess we'll find out pretty quick getting into the episode. If the battle is still going on, then we're probably gonna get a kind of an alternate ending. Yeah, I mean, that's my brief introduction. I'm ready to get into it, so we're gonna do just that. Let's go. Vimeo, watch it for the last time. Kill la Kill. Let's get into the episode. Alright, that was the final episode of Kill la Kill, episode 25 special. And man, I feel like very often, or more often than not at least, when it comes to like special episodes, usually they're actually never overly good. I feel like most special episodes people like just because they're a continuation of the show that they love, and it's just something else to watch, right? But usually I feel like special episodes, they're just very average at best. This genuinely was one of the best points of the entire series to me. Like, this was a great special to end off the show. It wrapped up a couple things that didn't need to be included, I think, in the finale, but I think it's still like very important, and it was just a good send-off for the show. This is just genuinely, if we're talking purely like OVA episodes or specials or whatever, like, I guess technically they're different things, but you know what I mean. This is one of the best that I've ever seen. It fit perfectly. It was a good ending to the show. It wrapped everything up. It gave us more, like, it gave us more fighting and stuff after the show had already ended, but it did it in a way that really made sense, that sent everything off. We got a lot of questions answered, like the scissor blade, why Satsuki cut her hair, a lot of things like that. It just, this is one of those episodes where, like, I feel like if you watch the main series, you have to watch this episode, right? Whereas if we compare to, like, I don't know, let's say like Attack on Titan or Full Metal Alchemist or something like that, are shows where the OVAs are really, really good, but I don't think they're crucial to watch. Well, I guess Attack on Titan, you could definitely argue that some of the OVAs are really, really important to the story, but Full Metal Alchemist is a big example, I think, of one where the OVAs were really good, but they're just small side stories, and you don't have to watch them if you just watch the regular series. That's all you need. This episode, though, you're missing out if you don't watch it. Man. Yeah, I very much enjoyed this episode. Again, I like the things that it filled us in on. I was kind of wondering with the scissor blades. Like, obviously Senketsu died, but the scissor blades were just gone. Like, what happened to them? They were just chilling in space. That's what happened to them. So, and then I feel like it's just the cliche female character development moment to cut off your hair. Like, I feel like that's just what you do. I feel like if you have long hair, you cannot develop as a female character. It's impossible. You have to cut it. Only then can you develop as a character. But again, I feel like Kill la Kill literally hit every cliche, every trope known to man, which I love. I love it so much. But no, jokes aside, I really like that. I thought it was really cool. I liked Satsuki in this episode in particular. Again, I liked seeing her and the Elite Four have to basically fight against their past selves. Like, that's literally what they were. They were acting just like they did in the first half of the series, which again, they were doing it for a good reason, but they still were kind of, you know, a little bit full of themselves at times. And Satsuki, you know, she said that herself. She was doing it all to defeat Ragyo, but she was also using everybody at the academy for her own gain, right? So it's not like she was doing things for a good cause, but she wasn't doing everything for a good reason, if that makes sense. So I like that they got to kind of see the other side of that here this episode. Even though they kind of already recognized it, they actually got to see what the other side was like from Ryuko's point of view and stuff. Again, we got to see the Academy's kind of final defense mechanism, which is cool to see. I liked how when Mako took control, like instantly when you saw it raise its hands and do this, you knew right away that's Mako. I love it. I love that pose is just something that, I mean, we've seen it so many times, so I guess it's hard to not recognize, but I love it. The to add on to it, the animation in this episode genuinely might have been the best this show's had, period. I think there are two, again, just thinking back, I think the two best animated fights from this show, not counting this episode, was the first fight with Satsuki, which also had the worst animated moment in the show, I think, when Satsuki was like walking up that wall and it just looked terrible. But like, other than that fight looked awesome. And then the rematch with Satsuki when they fought at that one academy that was burning down in the city, like the tri-schools, that fight. Whoops, I just slapped my microphone. That probably didn't sound pleasant. But again, I think those were probably the two best animated moments of the series. Possibly, I think you could throw the ending battle with Ragyo in there, but I don't think there was any like super outstanding animated moments in that like blew my mind as much as the other two that I mentioned. But again, this episode with Ryuko kind of running up the arm and stuff, that always provides for some awesome shots. Is like a giant character with many arms and a character running up them and stuff. I'm specifically, of course, referencing Ushiwaka and Gorgon in Fate Babylonia, which again was one of the best scenes of 2019 for me. That always is really cool. Just having a character running up the arms, slicing shit apart. It always looks good. But again, it looked phenomenal in this episode. The move she used, the attack she used with the scissors, like it was an awesome send off. I can't remember what they were called, but it looked super badass. Again, super over the top, Kill la Kill style. I loved it a lot. Again, I can't think of a bad thing about this episode. This episode alone was an 8 or a 9 out of 10. And again, I'm speaking from a point like where again, I feel like most people, when we watch special episodes, we're kind of clouded by the fact that the main series was really good. Therefore, the special episodes must be really good too. Whereas in most cases, again, the special episodes are usually pretty bare bones, nothing really in them. They're just there to have extra shit so people can watch, right? But again, this episode specifically was really, really good. It fit into the series well. It cleaned up things. It was good. Like, going down to the fundamentals, the music, the animation, the story of it, like everything was really, really good in this episode, and I really, really enjoyed it. But yeah, that fully finishes off the show for us. And again, I don't foresee this show ever coming back in any capacity. Just like Gurren Lagann, it's one of those one-off anime-only shows where it came for 25 episodes, and that's it. And I really enjoyed those 25 episodes. Again, I think much like Gurren Lagann, it went through a little bit of a lag period. It maybe like, I don't know, episodes like 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there. Of course, Gurren Lagann had like its biggest major plot twist at like episode 8 or something like that. But you know what I mean? Like that middle portion or early middle portion of the show, I think for both of the shows kind of lagged a little bit, and then the second half for both of them just took off to a whole nother dimension. Now, of course, I know I keep talking about the two shows and kind of comparing them. I'm not going to directly compare them and say which one I think was better than the other. I think they both were really, really good in their own respects. And I'm definitely glad I was able to knock these two shows out in the past year. Which, speaking of, it's been about a year since I watched Gurren Lagann, right? Yeah, because I started it at the same time as I started Hunter x Hunter, and that was in February. So it's been about a year since we started Gurren Lagann. And now we're fully finished with Kill la Kill, which again, I think those two shows are always two that kind of go hand in hand. Again, same staff behind them, very, very similar premise, style, design, everything. They're just, you watch one, you gotta watch the other, right? They just go hand in hand. So I'm glad we got to knock those two out. Again, I'm very curious to see what wins the fan vote, which will be ending this Sunday on Patreon. If you're watching on YouTube, actually, the first episode of whatever we're watching will have gone live earlier this week. So if you want to check that out, that's on Patreon. Again, I'm always excited to move on to something new, but on the same wavelength. I'm always sad to end something off, even though it wasn't a long show, like 25 episodes. How long did that take us to get through? If we go through like 8 to 10 episodes a month, that'd be like 2, 3, 4 months, or 3 or 4 months, something like that. It's not a whole lot of time, but every show, it takes up a special place on my channel, and it sucks to say goodbye. But we're going to be finishing it off here. So I do thank you guys all for watching. I thank you guys all for sticking with me through this journey. I'm glad you guys voted up this show. I know it's a show that people have been wanting me to watch for a while through polls and stuff, and I'm glad we ended up getting to it. And for those of you guys who just kind of sticked around at my channel just for this show, I do thank you guys for kind of sticking around with me. And yeah, I guess we'll look forward to whatever's next. And again, for those of you guys who did just stick around for this, hopefully we will come into contact again in the future if I'm watching another show that you want to see me react to. And yeah, thanks all guys for watching. And I'll talk to you guys all some other time. I'm not even going to plug the Patreon today. I'm too lazy to do it. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys all on this coming Monday with the first episode of whatever series is taking this show's spot. Until then, peace out.